get experimental. Science. We're curious, non-judgmental.
Oh, that's so cool. Again, this piece is another 30 million year old piece of amber. There are little insects stuck in there. Let us take a measurement and see just how large this creature is. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 millimeters in length. 6 millimeters in length, it looks like, for total size on this critter. So a pretty, it's decent. It is visible with the naked eye as well. And we're zoomed out now at 7 times magnification, so we're not really full on in yet. But let's go ahead and go in a little bit deeper. I don't know about y'all, but I still get kind of taken back by how hairy these animals are. I always assume that it's a bug, and so for some reason it just certainly cannot be hairy. But then it always ends up being like a strange, hairy-looking creature, right? Yes, the very much on the wings too. And this, look at the number of wing veins that we got. The wing veins are just all the way covering this wing, much more so than what we usually see. These hairs detect air currents and airflow, and so it allows them to adjust their wings, no pun intended, on the fly. So if we do a little bit of a color adjusting, the fuzz is actually even more prominent. I know we talked about hair on the body. What benefit does it have on the wings? Air detection, Quoth. So apparently it helps with air current. So if how the air is coming in when the animal is flying, it helps detect how to pivot and how to move its wings to be stable during flight. Is a big part of it. There's another hypothesis too that it also helps when their animals are cleaning their wings, so that when they're doing cleaning, they're rubbing a lot on the bristles and cleaning off stuff that's getting caught in the bristles, and not pulling on the wing matter, because that is pretty fragile. But a lot of it is that air detection, which I think is a really neat adaptation. And actually, there's been some ecology studies that have been studying, and they suggest that there seems to be a correlation between how much flight an insect does and how much hair is on the wing. So it seems like sometimes if it's hairier, it might be more of a flighted animal. So it doesn't create drag. I'm sure it does, Golganak, but I think the sensory bristles being able to detect changes in the air current might be more important than speed, but rather how well it flies versus just, the speediness on it as well. Again, a nice shot of the wings, all of the different sensory bristles that we see here. This is the same sample, Gwen. I just flipped it over. I wanted to see it from the other side, Gwen, of seeing if we can get any more information. I feel like, Gwen, that we have, this is a wing, and this is a wing, and then this is a wing here, too. So I'm seeing, right, so if that's one there, 2 is there, but then this one has a weird fold. And that weird fold is indicative to me of a 3rd wing. So I think we're looking at a total of 4 here. See this right here. See how it's folded in? So that'll be wing number 3, and then I assume that there's a 4th one hiding in here. That would again lean towards this being some kind of lace wing. Yes, so Kith, it's beautiful, right? Yes, the abdomen, there's a weird thing going on with the abdomen. This actually, we'll zoom in and see what else we can find, on the abdomen on there. Is there a reason it's curled? So it could be Quoth from pressure from the resin, as it's hardening. This could also be just a feature of the biology of the animal. Now, Cliff had sent this really cool image where we have a curved abdomen like that. The only ones that I've seen that I've studied, Quoth, are Drosophila suzuki, which is a fruit fly species that has a curved ovipositor or an egg-laying organ, and it's curved so that it can bore into fruit, and so it can like bore inside, deposit the egg, and come out, so the larva, when it hatches, is protected inside of the fruit. This, though, it's not quite clear. I think we need to look on the other side of it and see what else it might look like. The abdomen does not look like a lacewing, but maybe a caddisfly. Okay. I like that. Remember, Cliff, we've had some past history with caddisflies. Not always good, either. Example of a caddisfly. Here we go. So that's one possibility. Again, we're not getting as much branching in the wing veins, but that could be just differences in what the sample is and the sample type. But the body plan looks very similar as well. The long antennae that we're seeing too seems to be a kind of sandfly. A sandfly or, Cliff, maybe a lacewing. We've had lacewings in the past, Cliff, and they've had similar wing patterns. Not saying that this is necessarily a lacewing, but just maybe something in that family as a possibility. Difference between lacewing and sandfly would be the number of wings. Lacewing 2 pairs, sandfly 1 pair, and halteres. All right, we'll take a close look, Cliff. So, all right, y'all. So here are the wings, Cliff. It looks to me like there's at least 1 wing here. Looks like there's a second wing here, and it looks like there's at least a 3rd wing in the background. So, Cliff, we might have 4 wings total. Speaking of wings, Jimmy, let's take this picture. I think Cliff will need to turn it over on its backside and see what the other side looks like to really make sure, but we might have those 2 pairs of wings that would, again, indicate maybe we're dealing with a lacewing and not a sandfly. I actually quite like that angle too, that image. There we go. That's what the color adjustment there. It looks quite striking, and again, you can see a lot of those. Look how cleanly that we can see those sensory bristles all on the wings. I think we've ID'd these before, based on that wing pattern. And it's something that very much Cliff Hauser McLean is a huge fan of, these animals. Ooh. Gwen, this is a very nice one. Yep, Gwen, I like the antenna. The antennal types are a match. Those antennae are an absolute match right there. Yep. And then I like the wing veins. You see like all the radiations on the wing veins. Very, very similar between these 2 samples. Nice. Yes, and you're right, Golganak. The abdomen too. This weird structure here looks very similar. Again, we're getting that weird doublet from the image, but I still think it looks really pretty. We are able to look at all the ommatidia, so the individual cells within the eye are quite visible. And then again, look at the hairs, just like the fine hairs in the back of the animal. It turned out really, really pretty. Y'all, what are you thinking? Are we set on feeling that this is some flavor of lacewing? That is what my suspicion is. Alright, so we said lacewing. I'm going to save our images, and then we're going to move on to pond water and see what we can